More than a half a century ago, astronauts carried a canister of tree seeds around the moon.
One of the seeds from that lunar trip stands tall today in a Louisiana forest. Dave McNamara has the story of that moon tree in the heart of Louisiana.
When Apollo 14 launched toward the moon more than 50 years ago, one of the astronauts on board, Stuart Roosa, carried a container of several hundred seeds. It was part of an experiment to see if weightless space travel impacted the seeds from several common types of trees. While astronauts Alan Shepard and Ed Mitchell walked on the lunar surface, Roosa orbited overhead in the command module. His seeds made 34 loops around the moon over nearly 3 days before the mission returned to Earth. After the space voyage, the moon seeds were sent around the world for planting. One of them, a loblolly pine, was planted in central Louisiana in the Kisatchie National Forest.
Been to outer space.
And for the last half-century, this moon tree appears to have thrived in this pine forest.
Being that this was a research area, and then it just was watched over and measured over the years by the scientists and technicians that worked here, just to make sure that how is it going to be different than a normal tree that hadn't been to outer space.
A second control tree was planted alongside the moon tree. But as the trees grew, researchers realized that somehow the control tree wasn't a loblolly pine, but rather a shortleaf pine. So that hampered scientific comparisons.
From what you know about loblolly pines, does this look like a 50-year-old loblolly should look?
Some people will see this tree and they think, well, that looks different than most normal pines. Well, what it is this tree was planted in a very open area. And most trees, no matter what their species are, will branch out. When there's plenty of sunlight, they grow out.
Astronaut Roosa had a special connection to forestry. Before joining the space program, he was a fire jumper for the Forest Service.
The chief of the Forest Service asked him, "Could you take these seeds to outer space?" And they all thought it was a worthwhile experiment, so yeah.
This loblolly pine is one of 3 moon trees planted in Louisiana back in the 70s. The other 2 were in New Orleans and were lost to Hurricane Katrina.
You can see that right in here. That's what the seed, that's a seed wing.
There is no telling how many other descendants of the original moon tree may have sprouted nearby.
What they found out is the tree is no different than any other pine tree. Going out in outer space as a seed did not affect the physiology or any of the biology of the tree.
But it's still a curiosity. You can drive down this Forest Service road in the Kisatchie and see a moon tree, a tall pine that has a connection that extends far beyond the planet Earth. With the heart of Louisiana, Dave McNamara, Fox 8 Local First.
For more on Louisiana's moon tree and its exact location, go to heartoflouisiana.com.